Hello Libra, thank you very much for tuning into this week's read. For the main part of the read, the Bonefire Tarot by Gabby Angus West. Supportive Oracle cards, Wisdom of the House of Night. And in the back here above the barcode is who created them. If you look for them on Amazon though, you should easily find them. I want these. It's going to be... I feel like this is going to be like a triptych type feel. Triptych? Okay. Okay. Unexpected little adventurer. That's it. Only 3 tarot cards? Alright. If that's how it's going to be then. Let's bring it forward, bring it forward. That's weird. Let's just see how this comes in. Now, literally when you get involved in this situation, I find this very funny for Libra. You're like, whatever. It's almost like that energy. Like, okay, do what you got to do. Like, you don't want to be in control of anything. I feel like you're a little burnt out getting involved in it, just to be fair. It's kind of like, I'm sick of policing stuff. I'm sick of trying to make things balance. I literally feel that's the energy I'm feeling, which, I don't know. Do you have those moments? I guess so. That's what I'm feeling. Now, when this is coming in though, you're letting people just do what they need to do. You're just kind of like, I'm just exhausted tracking down people, and I'm just exhausted with the situation. That's what I'm feeling. Now, ironically though, you step back and like, I'm getting obedience in the environment. Like, people seem to be just kind of like coloring within the lines. Maybe that's the best way to put it. They're coloring within the lines. They're using their own judgment about what colors should be there. But nobody's really stepping out of place is what I'm getting. Currently, it seems like it's fine. You seem to be backing off because you're sick of it. Other people seem to be staying in line with how things should be. This just seems to be like a normal part of the cycle is what they're telling me. Now, as this comes forward, though, and you step back, somebody else sees the ability to rebalance things. I'm sure you're not surprised. I just have that weird feeling like you're like, oh, yeah, that happens. The High Priestess pops in, and this is somebody who thinks, you got to take some of the good, some of the bad, and you got to kind of mix it together. It takes red and blue to make purple. Let's get some purple going on here. And this is what's coming in that you're not aware of due to you backing off, because I feel like you're backing off. This is what's coming forward. Individuality. Now, somebody else is moving things around to the way they think they would go better. Somebody else is kind of like moving the situation in a way that suits them better. This is face down, though. You don't see this happening right off the bat. Somebody's working very under the radar. Because they're kind of feeling that, if you see what's going on, you might call it out for what it is, or not so much call it out as try to rebalance it so that's best for everybody, not just best for them. But somebody is moving forward with what they think is right, and they're rebalancing things. When I say rebalancing, they're like reconstituting it to a way that suits them better. So I don't think I should be using the word balance with that. I think it's just being drunk on the Libra thought. I don't think I feel like in your opinion, this is not balance. I feel like in your opinion, this is not balance at all. This is like more to their liking. They're readjusting things more to their liking. But you're not seeing it at first, is what I'm getting. Now, as it keeps going on, it can only go so far before you see what's happened. Because I feel like it's after the fact. You see these changes that have happened. You're seeing the adjustments that have been made. And I'm getting this going on here. When you see it, things are working out successfully. I don't feel like anybody's being... I don't know. Things are working out successfully. Somebody's getting more out of the situation than others. But nobody's left out. It's just some people are getting more than others. And you got the vision here to like, well, how long can this work? It's kind of like if you use 100%, right? Somebody's getting like 70%, and then the other 30 is being distributed here and there. It's kind of like that to you. You're like, somebody's getting a lot more than they should. And then other people are getting less, noticeably less. You got the 3 of Swords, the 3 of Swords, where you're not liking this, you don't like how this is. It's one of those things where you're feeling like this, how long can this last where people are okay with this? Because one person is making out noticeably more than the others. Noticeably more. It might not be technically 70%, but that's how it looks to you, because like they're getting out of this a lot more than everybody else, and it's kind of like you're looking at it like, that's not really fair. That's not right. The vision for you is kind of like, how long can this last? How long can this last? Now, the energy that got what they wanted, this card is very suspicious to me. Now, the forbidden card here is like they're trying to keep you from getting in, and they're trying to keep other people, not just you, it's definitely not just you, but they're trying to keep others from getting close enough to change things. Let's just leave it at that. They don't want people to change what they have. Balance isn't really what they're worried about. They just don't want to lose what they have. That's just the bottom line. So whether it's balanced out or somebody else gets more than they are getting, it doesn't really matter. I also feel like they're aware of the reality of the situation, in the sense of like, there's only so long this is going to go. They kind of feel like they seem to know that this is going way more to their advantage than they expected it to. I do feel like that's happening. They're getting more out of it than they expected to. They like it, but they're kind of like, oh, I'm kind of pushing my luck here. They wanted to like make out like, like if they were supposed to get a quarter of it, they were hoping to get 40%. How's that? You know what I mean? If their fair share was 25%, right? They were hoping to get like 40, maybe a little more if they were lucky. They're getting like 70%, so it's going a lot better than expected. And they're realizing like, this is too obvious. This is going to be a problem. So they're kind of not sure what to do with it, is what I'm getting. Because they know it seems like it's reality to them. Like, I'm not going to be able to hold on to this for too much longer. But they're trying to readjust it. Again, the same energy, this same energy that's trying to stay out of the limelight, if you will. They don't want to be singled out for doing it. But they're trying to readjust it again. But they're kind of fighting it at the same time because they like making this extra benefit. They like it a lot. But they're like, I'm not going to be able to keep it unless I kind of start muting it down and start redistributing a little bit. So they're trying to readjust it again. Again, this is not going the way you think would be fair. I don't think you're in agreement with this, because they're still making out more than usual. They're just trying to see if they can make it more acceptable where people will let them be and let them keep making extra. They're trying to reconstitute the situation with the Ace of Pentacles and movement. They're moving things around. There's a lot of sleight of hand going on here, is what I'm getting. What this is... Okay. They're looking to reconstitute a situation where they can keep making more. They can keep making out more than other people without people questioning them. Now, the movement, like they're constantly moving things around, but they're trying to establish it to where maybe they can get down to that 40%. They should have 25%, but they're trying to get to that 40%, and they're trying to lock it in where nobody's going to question them on it. Where they still feel like they're making out better than other people, but they don't think, you know what I mean? But nobody's going to be really the wiser, or nobody's going to really challenge it. On your side, you have the Grove with the self-worth. This is rough, because I feel like you're trying to Listen, Libras are about balance. There's just no way around it. There's just no way around it. You're seeing it. You're going to have to work with other people. You're going to have to get people to fight for themselves. Trying to work in a collective manner, because I feel like that's what you want. I feel like there's a conflict, because you got self-worth with the word self right there, and you got Grove. You want everybody to work together to balance this out fairly among everybody. That would be ideal. It's not really working, because I feel like you're coming across the pushback, where other people are like, well, so and so has been getting way too much for way too long, So I think it's only fair that I have my turn it back where I get the extra amount. I want extra for a while. And people are like looking at it like that. Like they want to take what happened in the past and balance it out their own way so that like, well, they got too much for all that time. No, I want to get too much. I want to get my fair too much. And it's kind of like you're realizing like this is not going to work. We got to take from here forward and put it back in perspective. It's like wanting to go back and like balance things out. Like it's like if you're in June, like we're in June, and you're looking like the first 3 months were balanced evenly. The second 3 months, this person got 70%, and then they're whatever they're doing now, but they got way too much. And it's kind of like saying, all right, so if we look at it the total year, there's like 5% more that they would be entitled to. So you have 25% for the first quarter, 70% for the third quarter. So they're supposed to have 100% by the time the year's over. I know I'm making this too complicated probably. But they've already attained like what, 95% of what they should have. To make this person go down to 90 or to 5% for the last 2 quarters is not going to work. It's just not feasible. It's just not going to work. They're going to either walk away or quit or whatever. Like it's not going to work, and you know that. You're like, it might be what's fair in the long run, but it's not going to work. And that's the thing with this. So you're like, we got to reconstitute this differently. We got to take it from these last 2 quarters and bring it back to 25% for everybody, and then see what we can do with that. It may not be truly fair in the long run, but it'll fall apart if we try to balance it out the other way. You're constantly going to have to deal with this. Because I feel like there might be shifting pieces to where it's just not going to... Like the fair balance of like looking at the whole thing in a yearly span like I was doing there before, it's just not feasible. It's not possible is what I'm getting without things falling apart. So I feel like the second best thing is just to bring everything back into balance, to put everybody back at their 25%, if you will, and you're having a hard time with that. What is the solution here? Like, what are you supposed to do with this? I don't feel like this is going to come to a civil ending. I don't feel like it's going to easily go back to its normal balance, but I feel like that's what you have to strive for, and I feel like that's the message of this reading. You want to strive for the original balance. If you try to strive to make things like, oh, okay, they got 25%, now they got 70%, they're way too much. It's not going to work. If you try to go that technical with it, it's just not. You have to go from like, this is where it started when it was in balance, and now we just got to return it back to the original balance. That is what you got to strive for, and you're still going to have a hard time with that. I just feel like if you try to balance it out in the total picture, it's going to fall apart. It's going to fall apart, and then I feel like, for example, if this is a work situation, people are going to leave the situation. It's just going to become a mess. It's going to become a mess, and it's just not going to work. I just feel like it's not feasible. So it's kind of like returning it to its original balance is what needs to happen. And then maybe educating other people that, like, if they didn't like when that happened and they don't think that's fair, they also have to keep an eye on everything to make sure things stay in balance and that somebody doesn't get ahead when they shouldn't. It's just not fair for them to get ahead as much as they did. It's kind of like coaching somebody, saying, you know what, you also let this go. You also let this get way out of balance. If you saw it happening, you should have called it out when you saw it and not just depended on me to police everything. Because you know what? Sometimes I get burnt out and I got to step away. So what's done is done. We got to move forward here. We got to reattain the original balance and go forward that way. Because there's a lot of this balancing going back and forth. There's a lot of this dickering. And you just got to reattain the original balance. I don't know how that sounds, because I feel like you can completely get it. Like, somebody got too much for a while. Now other people need to reattain their normal balance, so at the end of the year, everybody has their equal share like they should have. It's just not possible at this point, is what I'm getting. I just don't feel like it's possible. It's not feasible. So it's just reattaining the original. I've said it 50 times. I want to find another way around it. I just can't seem to find it. Sorry. Hopefully this helps in some aspect and you know what to do with it. Because wasting time trying to attain that one spot is literally just wasting time. Trying to make it balance out like it originally should have is just wasting time. It's not going to happen. It's just going to drive you nuts. Just bringing things back to what they should have been originally and should have stayed the whole time, that's what you got to go for. That's what I'm getting. That's the advice here. All right. I'm going to shut this down here. I hope that helps. Thank you for watching. If you'd like a direct reading from me, shoot me an email, jamesforastral@gmail.com, james4astral@gmail.com. Thank you.